It's time for another Fantasy Selfie. I'm your host, Dennis Farrell, here in St. Louis, Missouri for the Dave Glover Show Fantasy Football Draft. I'd show you some great video from last night, but we lost it all. But by the end of this video, I will tell you some funny things that happened in it. But first, let me give you a little idea of what's going on going into week one of this fantasy football season. Derek Carr is making a strong bid for the starting quarterback job in Oakland. So far, going 30 for 45, 326 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I think Matt Schaub will still win the job, but look for Derek Carr to steal it from him by week 4. I think that's a definite possibility there. Jeremy Hill also making a bid to be your flex player in your team if you drafted him. So far in his last outing, he had 20 rushing attempts for 90 yards. He was 6 for 6 on his targets for 70 yards this past Thursday. Now, look, I'm not sold on him being my flex player, but I'm going to monitor his touches throughout the first 2 or 3 weeks. He definitely might be one of those late guys that you draft as a handcuff to Giovanni Bernard, who could turn into a starting flex player for you. Sammy Watkins sustained another rib injury. Not sure if it's the same injury or if it's a different location, but keep an eye on this because now I'm concerned about his health going into the season. I think he'll miss some time this season with that rib injury. This week's ADP still of the week, Michael Floyd. He's going about 51 overall. I've seen him drop into the 60s at times. I think he'll have a better season than Larry Fitzgerald, who's going 42 overall. And keep an eye on Eric Ebron, who's going 149th. That's about the 12th round. He's not looked that great in preseason games. He's been shaky in camp, but he's also been compared to Jimmy Graham. And if this kid could put it together in this high-flying Lions offense, I really think Eric Ebron could be your starting tight end. And Doug Martin is a guy that I'm starting to target in trades and late in drafts. He's going about the 3rd or 4th round in 12-team leagues. With Tampa Bay upgrading that offensive line very quickly with the trade of Logan Mankins, who is a borderline Hall of Fame offensive lineman, I like Doug Martin's chances. And now, let me tell you about the Dave Glover Show draft last night. Some crazy things happened. Little buyer's remorse where someone took Peyton Manning at number 2 overall. I had the 5th pick. Jamal Charles fell to me at 5. Crazy, but I immediately traded him away after the draft, so it was a free pick for me. Other news and notes out of that draft, Eddie Lacy also went ahead of Jamal Charles and AP at number 4. Mini Dave Glover took Matthew Stafford in the 2nd round. A little bit crazy right there. The still of the draft goes to A.J. Green and Max Foisey, who had drafted him. He went 21st overall with an ADP of 13. Great buy right there, by the way. And Julio Jones had no respect on the night. The guy who drafted him is in love with Jason Witten. I think his kids are named after Jason Witten. He lives on Jason Witten Drive. His underwear has Jason Witten's name written into it. I mean, this guy is Jason Witten. I would not be shocked if he had a little tramp stamp tattoo with Jason Witten on it. Ends up trading Julio Jones straight up for Jason Witten. And Julio also went very late in the draft, too. So I'm huge on Julio. If anybody in that league's watching, I might overpay for him a little bit. I'm Dennis Farrell. You can follow me on Twitter at Dennis77Farrell. Find me on Facebook, Dennis77Farrell. And remember, you can catch the F Word on the Fantasy Sports Network, channel 147, Cablevision, New York City, FantasySportsNetwork.com, Thursdays and Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, Hail Hydra.